Guy I don't want to pick a fight with is our next guest. It's Matt Nimey. Matt Nimey's not a fighter. He's a lover, I'm sure. Great guy in studio. Nimey's new generation. A lot going on. It's tax season, right? Folks are out there looking for cars.
It's tax season, and people are getting their tax returns back, and a lot of people jump to a purchase that they shouldn't make.
Yeah, they're excited. They got some cash in their pocket. The old vehicle's looking ratty, and they just pull up and say, "Here you go," right?
Yeah, here you go. I want this. I need a car.
Does it got gas in it? Oh,
I need a car.
Good.
That's just a bad thing to say. You
right?
Gotta, do some homework, get out there and look at some vehicles and see what fits you.
Yeah.
Don't just walk into a place, buy a car, and 2 months later think, geez, it doesn't even fit the car seats. I can't fit the dog in the bag.
Right.
Every time I'm working on my house, I still got to borrow somebody else's truck. So people need to slow down. It happens all the time, and they come in and they're like, hey, I just bought this car 3 months ago. Can we trade it in? And we're like, well, it doesn't work that easy. It's not like going to Walmart and returning some pair of sneaks. They don't fit you right.
And obviously there was a problem, or they didn't like their purchase because they've only owned the car for 3 months and they want to get rid of it already, right?
Exactly. Yeah. They need to. People need to slow down. They need to make a decision that they can live with for at least a couple of years.
Yeah.
So that you're not losing $3,000-$4,000 in a few months just because you want to trade the car in.
Some ideas that folks maybe overlook and make that quick idea or
yeah,
quick
I think
purchase.
A lot of people, they wait for a while to get that down payment money,
okay.
And they just sort of jump in and get so excited and overwhelmed with the excitement that they make a decision that doesn't fit.
So
yeah.
what are some of the things to look for, or maybe when you finally realize that you have to slow down?
Well, you got to think about things like, what is your real budget throughout the year? How much can you actually afford to
Good
pay?
point, yeah, because a lot of people, they got this extra cash, they think maybe they're
right.
millionaires.
And
for
are
a
you going to
minute.
buy an older car that's going to need maintenance throughout the year, because you better put aside some money for maintenance? Or are you going to buy a newer car that maybe will have lower maintenance but a little higher of a car payment? Is it going to fit you, your kids, your lifestyle? There's a lot to think about, and to just jump into something, especially I see a lot of people jump onto leasing. And they say, oh, well, it's only $239 a month. Yeah, well, it's $4,000 down or $2,000 down, $239
right.
a month. Right. And then you don't own anything afterwards, and you forgot that you drive 15 to 20,000 miles a year. Mm-hmm. So now you're going to get penalties, and so slow down and
you have to
talk
keep up
to
on the
people.
maintenance, and if you didn't want to, you have to. You're forced to have full coverage on a car. Maybe for some reason you just say, hey, I'm driving it here and there. Put liability on it, and I'll
exactly.
tour around town.
Talk to car people that or stop in. There's stores, we'd be happy to do it for you, and there's other stores that would too. Write down things that you need. I need a third row seat. You need storage room. This is how much I can afford to pay a month with my car and car insurance and and everything together. Figure out how many miles a year you drive. Figure out how long do you normally keep a car? Because people that keep a car for 1 or 2 years, well, there's different things they need to look at.
It's the people that, you say keep it. It's the people, I'm going to go the other way. It's the people that ruin them, I got friends that they could buy a car. I have a buddy who just bought like a $50,000 truck, right? He probably can't. I don't know if he can afford it or not, but he was happy about it. He bought it. I'm looking at it.
Everybody's happy when they first buy it.
I said, how old is it? He goes, it's brand new. What do you mean? It's got like 10,000 miles on it, I just bought it 3-4 months ago. Like, dude, it's filthy inside. I got a car that's 10 years old that looks cleaner than your car. So there's some people that...
Yeah, so then when he goes in 2.5 years, 3 years, he goes to trade that thing in, and it's worth 10, and he still owes 30, then he's got an issue,
right.
And we see it every day when people come in, I owe 18 grand, and the car's worth 7. How's that happen?
Right.
Well, it happens because you made 3 bad decisions in a row. The last 3 cars you bought, you were upside down. So you have to stop, slow down, take your tax money, put it in your bank account, and do some homework, do some research, talk to people that are educated about car buying, and make a decision that'll suit your family.
I got 2 questions
your
for
friends.
You. These are off-the-wall questions. How important is color to people when they're buying a car? Do people come and say, I want a red car, I don't want white? Is that a factor that you see?
Color is a factor for car people. So not for everybody. For people that maybe enjoy their car or are more into cars, color still matters big time.
What's the color that car people want more than any other color?
White or black.
White or black?
Yeah, I would say white and black are top 2, and then silver and gray after that.
Any specific
What's the
reason
least popular car? The least popular color?
Gold.
Gold?
Yeah.
They don't like gold.
Gold or
about
like
green?
the bronze.
Yeah.
Right.
Greens, certain greens people do like, especially in the last couple of years, some of the manufacturers came out with some pretty decent looking greens. I mean, I'm not a huge green guy, but they came out with some decent looking greens, and they have been selling.
And that's kind of an interesting question. Do you find that people that may gravitate or like white cars, they continue to buy the same color over and over again?
Yeah, and it seems like white. If somebody who wants a white car, they'll buy a black, and black car will buy a black. Somebody who likes black will buy a white, but you won't buy somebody who likes black or white. They won't buy a red or a blue or green.
I have two cars. One is white, one is black. And if I replaced either one, I would get the same color. That's why I asked you that.
Oh, yeah.
Let me ask you this, too. I had a client in a divorce, and he had a car, and he gave it to his wife. And I said, why did you give that to her? He said, well, that's a girly car. I said, guys don't drive those cars. And then he had another, in a state, and I said to this, I called someone I know, I said, we want to sell this car. It'd be a nice car for a college kid. It's in good shape. It's a little bit older. He said, you're not going to get a college kid to buy it. I said, why? He said, it's an old man's car. Are there from your experience, are there certain cars that guys won't buy or that
100%
that younger people won't buy? Can you just share some of that with us?
And maybe why is the reasoning behind it.
Yeah, I mean, from a psychological standpoint, the car is more than transportation. It's not the way you get from A to B.
A car has a stigma to it. Every car has a certain stigma, and whether it's a Chevy Equinox or a Honda Accord or a Cadillac, you're not going to get. I don't care if you donate a car to a young kid; he's not going to drive a Cadillac DeVille.
I wouldn't drive it if you gave it to me, right? One of those kind of ideas.
They won't drive Cadillacs?
No, they'll drive a CTS. They'll drive a different model. They won't drive a full size,
a Brougham or something like that.
Yeah, we have people come in all the time, and hey, they're in a financial bind. They really can't afford much of a car, and there's not many cars available that you can buy for $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. Not anything that's halfway good and doesn't have holes through it,
right?
And you can show them 3 or 4 cars, and they're like, no, I don't like the color. Well, I don't like the look. It's a girl. She doesn't want to drive a certain make or model.
Come on, you need to get back and forth to college, don't you?
What won't girls drive? What cars won't girls drive?
It varies by the girl.
Well, just in general, some of them.
Well, like a younger college girl, she won't come in and buy a CRV. She won't come in and buy like
a 4-door
Taurus or a lot of the younger girls they don't really like Accords. It depends on the person.
Well, I understand
there's no cookie cutter.
But just in general, those are some. How about guys? What cars won't guys buy? Younger guys, what won't they buy?
Oh, geez.
My car?
Cobalt?
No, I do not have a Cobalt. I said my car. My brother and I disagree on my car.
Most guys won't drive like a Cobalt. A lot of guys, they want the SUVs. They want the more trucky looking.
Something big with some power, huh?
Yeah, they all want.
Step up, honey. Let me help you.
Every young guy, it seems like around here, wants that big truck with the big tires on it. And that's the complete opposite of what they should be buying. They can't afford the fuel. They can't afford the maintenance. They can't afford the truck.
My buddy that just bought the $50,000 truck went from a Honda Civic to the $50,000 diesel.
$200 a month more for fuel. Yeah.
Well, interesting point. We were talking this morning. Samantha and I had some statistics. 37% of all men say they would like to purchase a Ford Mustang before they die. I'm not a Ford guy, but I would love an 89 through a 91 5.0 any day. Do you find that there are guys in specifics that come in and say, I don't like this, but I like that one?
We got one here with us, Bobby Miller.
Yeah,
Mr. Mustang.
The man behind the camera.
Yeah, we don't want to buy it. Don't worry, all right?
He's always got a Mustang around. Every guy wants a sports car, and it usually has to be a second car, though. So, some of us make the move early in life. Some of us are waiting until a little older.
So they can deal with the significant other, right? They need 2 cars.
You can have it as long as I have my SUV. We're good.
All right, we're still in winter. Any tips out there for folks going through the winter season? And we're winding down.
Well, if this weather keeps up like this 0 and 6 degree and 8 degree weather. Batteries. We did jump start after jump start and battery after battery this week because everybody sort of squeezed through this year with this 40-degree winter we've had. So the batteries were nice and happy.
We went through it out here the other day. You got one vehicle jumping the other vehicle, and then you got to go get them tested. What are some of the signs that folks may be able to look for when it comes to their battery
Yeah,
going, or maybe it's another thing, an alternator or something like that.
When you start getting that, when you get out in the morning and you crank that key over,
You sound like
car,
Bobby waking up in the morning.
Yeah.
One of those. All right.
Is there any type of battery maintenance? Is there anything you can do to prolong the life of the battery, or is it just
Not anymore. There really
nothing.
isn't any maintenance except for the cars that you put in storage. Take the batteries out or put a battery tender on them. Then it's not good for them to sit in the ice weather. If you have heated storage and then you charge the battery once in a while, every few weeks.
Yeah,
6, 7 weeks.
Gotten away from pulling the cap off and added acid
most
to those
everything's
batteries.
maintenance free now. Very little batteries that you need to add acid to. It's all maintenance free now. And a lot of cars, a lot of newer stuff is actually what they call glass pack, the AG batteries. So.
Somebody told me once that when you get gas and sometimes people clean the windshield off, at the gas station, you should clean your windshield wiper off as well.
Yes.
That you put the fluid on the paper and clean the wiper off. Is that true?
Yes.
Does that make a difference?
Yes. Well, not only does it help get some of the ice crystals off the rubber,
I don't mean even if it's ice, even in the summer.
In the summer, yeah, because they get tarred up, and so if you take a clean, like a white napkin next time, and you just wipe that wiper blade with a little washer fluid or even a little alcohol wipe, those are the best, like the little hand wipes.
Mm-hmm.
Those clean them nice, but you wouldn't believe all the black, the tar and stuff, because that wipes your windshield, and your windshield's getting hit by the road scum all the time. And your wiper blades, squeeging it on and off the windshield. You want to keep
so
that
those
clean.
little alcohol, those things that you wipe
Yeah,
your hands
those work
with,
really well.
Just do the blade. Would you
Yes.
say do it every week? Is it or every time you get gas?
Yeah, maybe when you get gas or every other time you get gas, keep them clean. The wiper blades, they'll only hold up in good shape for about a year. And so really it should be changed once a year anyway. But if you keep them wiped like that, they'll hold up maybe a little longer. But on top of that, they'll work good the whole time.
Helps them from dry rot and cracking a little quicker.
I mean,
Yeah,
I never thought of that until somebody mentioned it to
They're
me.
going to dry rot. The rubber's going to dry rot how it dry rots. The sun's going to beat it up, the UV rays and stuff. But to keep them clean, they work better. And when you go to turn your wiper blades on, they get restricted because they get like tar on them, so they drag across the
resistance
glass.
Isn't there.
And so they can't move as fast or as smooth.
And Matt, we started off, we're going to get to a news break here, but we started off talking about taxes and utilizing your tax return in the proper way so you don't end up throwing away on something that you don't want, don't need, or doesn't fit you. Some of the choices out there that seem pretty popular that folks might be gravitating towards, good buys, good deals, specific brands that folks are liking. You got anything that?
Well, there is good deals, and there's a lot of good deals, and there's a lot of good vehicles, and there's a lot of honest people selling vehicles. So you just need to find what fits you the best. And I don't want to push or tell anybody what to do. Everybody's different. Everybody has different needs. Everybody has a different income, and you have to find something that's been serviced and maintained. And what the biggest fault that I see when people come in is they go out and they jump to a conclusion that they make this purchase and they don't even know what it was. They just impulse, and they come in, so now they're maxed out on payment. They have a car that wasn't serviced. It's got 4 tires that are almost bald. It's going to need brakes in a couple months. So now they just took their whole tax return to $3,000-$4,000. They put it down on the down payment. That was all the cash that they had, the bank account they need for their day-to-day life. And now in a few months they're going to need to put $1,500 into this car that they just purchased.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. Slow down. Make sure you have your car. And have it inspected by your mechanic. Take it over to if you have a mechanic you trust and you're looking at a car somewhere else, ask the guy, hey, can I bring it over and have it checked out?
And
by
any
my
dealer
mechanic?
that feels confident about their car is going to say, sure, buddy, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. There'd be no reason not to let someone go have it
Talk
checked
about
out.
just quick about resale and trade-in. Are there certain types or certain models, not necessarily like a Ford or Chevy, but like trucks versus cars that hold their value better than others?
Significantly.
And you tell us which ones do, and also, does it make any difference if you maintain the exterior of the car, if you keep it waxed and washed, keep the inside clean? Because when people hit, the cars get hit, and they make an insurance claim, the insurance company looks at the book. They don't care anything about your car. They just, here's your car. This is what the book says. This is what we're going to pay you.
Well,
but when you actually
look at
trade
both.
them in, does it make a difference?
Yes, they look at everything, and from the insurance company to the dealer. So if you make the purchase, you need to keep the car in good shape. You have to keep the rust off. You got to keep the paint nice, keep the interior nice, and in like the first part of your question about the residual value.
Yes.
What's this car going to be worth in 3 years when I want to get rid of it? That should be part of your decision-making process. And that's what I'm saying is these people, people jump to a conclusion or they jump to a purchase by impulse. And you have to slow down and say, what's this car going to be worth in 2 years or 3 years when I want to get rid of it? Because certain makes and models are worth a lot more than others. They depreciate a lot less.
So tell us which ones they are so we know.
Well, I don't want to say brand, makes, models, or brands, but say, for instance, like, people go out and they buy a brand new Honda CR-V. That car depreciates very little. So do the Toyota RAV4s. Very small depreciation, especially after the car's 2 years old. It only depreciates, between $1,100 to $1,500 a year, which is significantly less than some of the other models, especially some of the domestics, which depreciate very significantly in the first 3 years.
We even see some dealers saying, hey, let me buy back some of those older models because they have kept their value.
Yes. In certain models, like some of the Cadillac, higher-end Cadillacs, you see depreciations of $7,000 to $10,000 a year.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yep.
That's a lot of money to plan to lose on a vehicle when you go to trade it in.
Yeah.
So all that stuff needs to be talked about and put on paper before you make your purchase. And these are the points that we're trying to make to people. Slow down, research what you're doing a little bit. Don't just jump in and buy it because of impulse, because you like the color or the look of the car. What's it get for fuel mileage? What do you get now? So what's the difference going to be there? What do you pay for maintenance now? What's the maintenance going to be on this vehicle? And that information is readily available. Now, not all these websites are completely true. I see a lot of things on like Consumer Reports that I don't agree with for the Northeast. They're relatively accurate and good, but not always for our environment up here.
But the best idea is go in and maybe talk to somebody like yourself or your mechanic.
Yeah, we'd be happy to talk to you about it. And there's there's people that are out there that have had a lot of experience in the car market, and they can say, hey, well, I wouldn't buy that kind of a car because you're going to pay $300 a month, but the car's going to depreciate $400 a month. Well, what good is that going to do you when you go to trade it in? Your car's not worth anything more than what you owe on it. So you don't want to be upside down in a car. You don't want to owe more than what the car is going to be worth.
But most of the time, that's what happens.
Yeah, and keep the emotion out of it. You got to put emotion aside a little bit. If you're too emotional of a purchaser, then bring someone with you to slow you down.
To slap you in the face,
Yeah,
right?
I would be the worst one from your standpoint. I go strictly by make, model, and color.
Good, I'll come with you, Mark.
If I don't like the color, I wouldn't even think of it.
I'll be happy to kick you in the buns, all right?
It doesn't matter who's with me. I know what I want. I know the color I want.
The other point I want to make is
triple
warranties.
black, and that's it. I don't care.
Warranty is an important thing, and people think, well, I'm buying a used car, there's no warranty. Well, there's a lot of great warranties out there. There's some bad ones, too. Be careful what kind of warranty you purchase with your vehicle. But there's additional warranties that can be purchased on 3-4-year-old vehicles that are just as good or better than new car warranties.
And you even mentioned to me a few instances where folks came in and said, hey, I have this wrong, and they bought it from another dealer, and they weren't even aware that it was under warranty. And you said, hey, listen, your car's under warranty. You better go back and get it checked out.
Yeah, a lot of people buy a lot of people, I see people come in and they buy a new car and they buy a warranty that expires before the new car warranty expires. And I'm like, well, slow down a little bit when you're in that room and don't buy, pay attention to what you're paying for.
Overlapping warranties, basically.
Yeah, don't buy overlapping warranties. Don't buy maintenance plans that are already included in the factory maintenance plan that you get for free when you buy the car. With used vehicles, there is great warranties. There's bad warranties. So do a little homework. Those things you can check out, online. Or you can ask, like I said, trusted individuals that are in the car business, and pay attention, because if you get yourself a used car and you can save a significant amount of money, but you don't know if you can afford the maintenance, make sure you get a maintenance plan. Make sure you get some kind of extended warranty to protect yourself from putting out $1,000 here or $1,000 there.
By the way, we should mention that there's a lemon law that applies to used cars. But it doesn't apply if you pay less than $1,500 for the car, or if the car has more than 100,000 miles on it, or if you buy it from a private individual. It only applies if you buy from a dealer.
From a dealer, correct.
So if you buy from an individual and you want to invoke the lemon law to protect you because of something that's gone wrong, it doesn't apply to individual sales, only to dealers.
And it's not that easy. You have to make sure that
you have to give them an opportunity to fix it a couple times. They have to have not fixed it after a reasonable so many
Correct,
attempts to
yes.
fix it. But if the car's got more than 100,000 miles on it, which today a lot of cars do and they still sell because they last longer than they used to, you don't have any lemon law. So whatever the dealer gives you, that's it.
Yes.
Anything other than that, which could be nothing.
And get
It's
it
all
on
about,
paper when you buy
could be
it.
nothing.
It's all about knowledge and being informed and keeping your head up when you're going out there. So keep your tax return in your pocket until you know what you want, and you talk to a trusted individual. Matt Nimey from Nimeys New Generation. How do folks get a hold of you, or where do they stop in if they want to take a second to chat with you?
Feel free to stop down. We're at 2104 Dwyer Ave, right at the start of the Boilermaker. You can also, check us out online. We're on Facebook, Nimeys New Generation. Or through our website, we have a text option also. It's Nimeys New Generation. newgeneration.com.